Jai Hind to all. Myself Yogendra Prajapati, Assistant Professor from AKGEC Margar Engineering College, Ghaziabad. Today I am going to teach the subject theory of computation. Very important topic, conversion of the context-free grammar into the CNF form. That is also known as the Chomsky normal form. This type of the question asked in every year in university examination and also asked in the GATE examination and other competitive exam. So, according the importance of this topic, I am going to teach this topic. Before going to explain the concept of the Chomsky normal form, first I explain the introduction, what different type of the grammar, what is the attributes of the grammar, and what are the function of the Chomsky normal form. Now, first I explain what is the grammar. Grammar basically four tuples, V, T, P, and S, where V is where T is a terminal. Terminal means any non-variables small that can be written in a small letter. Variables, that is V for also known as the non-terminal, that is known as the variables. It is always written in capital letter, and variable in grammar are written, context-free grammar are written into the left side, and terminal in context-free grammar are written into the right side, where capital S is known as the start symbol. Any context-free grammar start from the start symbol. And last one, production rule. Here P stand for the production rule and S stand for the start symbol, and A is also known as the variables, are also known as the non-terminal. So with the help of combination of these four tuples, grammar are defined. Here is some example of the grammar. S tend to A, P, S and C, where S is your start symbol and it is written into the left side of the context-free grammar. Small a is known as the terminal, and in context-free grammar, terminal always written to the right side. Right side in CFG is the combination of the terminal and non-terminal, and left side in CFG is the combination only the non-terminal. Now here is a non-terminal, this one is a non-terminal, and these two symbol, small a and small c, is the terminal. Similarly, this is another production for the context-free grammar. Capital S is equal to ABC, and ABC simply is known as the terminal. This is another production. This two production is also known as the grammar, but it is not a part of the context-free grammar, because in context-free grammar, left side only non-terminal are allowed, and this type of the grammar is known as the context-sensitive grammar, or recursive and rebel grammar, or recursive grammar. In recursive grammar, about this concept we discuss in the next coming lecture. Okay, now we move to the another example of this grammar are written in this format also. Now, what is the context-free grammar? I have already explained. In left side, only non-terminal are allowed, and in right side, terminal and non-terminal are allowed. The head production contain only non-terminal symbol. It means this production contain only the non-terminal symbol. This is the grammar and this is the language of this grammar. It means with the help of this grammar, A to power n, B to power n language are generated. And what different type of this string are generated? A, B. It means the length of the A and the length of the B of this grammar are equal. This is one string are generated by this language or this grammar. A and BB or AB, such type of this string are generated with the help of this context-free grammar. Now, we move from the Chomsky normal form. Chomsky normal form is a very important type of the normal form of the context-free grammar, in which context-free grammar are written into this format. If any context-free grammar are written in this format, then we can say that this context-free grammar are in the Chomsky normal form. There is a two rule. The first rule says that left side single non-terminal, and right side only two non-terminal are allowed. And another rule, in right side single terminal are allowed. I repeat once again, left side single non-terminal are allowed. Right side only two non-terminal are allowed and one terminal are allowed. If any context-free grammar written in this format, then we can say that this context-free grammar are in the Chomsky normal form. Now we take the very simple example to understand how the any context-free grammar convert into the Chomsky normal form. Now this grammar have a two production, 1, 2, 3 production rule. They are the sum rule when any context-free grammar CFG convert into the Chomsky normal form, then we follow the few rules. The rule number 1, we identified the null production, unit production and useless production. This is the first rule. In given context-free grammar, we check the null production, unit production and the useless production. If these three production written in the context-free grammar, then the first rule, we remove all three. What is the second rule? Identify, find the production rule which is already in Chomsky normal form. Here is a three production are given. Then what is the rule 2 or rule 3? Rule 2 to find the production rule which is already in the Chomsky normal form. What is the Chomsky normal form? A tends to BC and A tends to small a. If any context-free grammar written in this format, then we can say that this production rule already in Chomsky normal form. We check this production rule. Or this production rule written in this format? No. It means this production rule are not in CNF form. We check another production, A tends to BA. Check this production are written in this format. A tends to BC or A tends to A? No. It means this production rule not in the Chomsky normal form. We check another production, A tends to small a, capital A and capital B. Are this production rule written in this format? No. This production rule not written in Chomsky normal form. It means rule 2 are over. No production rule written in Chomsky normal form. Then what is the third rule? Remove the terminal from the right side which is followed by the non-terminal. It means we remove A, we remove again A and we remove again B. This is the rule 3, remove the terminal from the grammar which is followed by the non-terminal. It means in this context-free grammar, we remove A, again on the production from A tends to small a and small capital B, and remove B from the production A tends to small b, capital A and capital B. Remove S tends to CA, AD and CA tends to A. It means this small a are removed by another non-terminal, that is capital CA, and capital CA is tends to small a. If this value are put in this equation, then there is no change of the production, but with the help of this technique, we remove this non-terminal into this given production rule. Now, we move from the another production. Similarly, we remove this terminal from this production. Again, CA, B and CA tends to A already written. There is no need to write 2 times. CA tends to A. And what is the another production of A? What is another production of A? A tends to C, B, A, B, and what is C, B tends to B. So, with the help of these two production, I remove the right side terminal which is followed by the non-terminal. This terminal are removed which is followed by 2 non-terminal. This terminal are removed which is followed by the non-terminal, and again this terminal are removed by this non-terminal. And check again how many production are in CNF form and how many production are not in CNF form. Now, when we check, here is a 1, 2, 3 non-terminal are occurs. And what is the rule for the CNF form? Only 2 non-terminal are allowed. It means this production not in CNF form. Okay, now we check this production rule. Right side only single terminal are allowed. It means this production are in CNF form. Now check this production rule. Right side only 2 non-terminal are allowed. It means this production are also in CNF form. Similarly, this production occur in right side 3 non-terminal. And what is the rule for the CNF form? In right side only 2 non-terminal are allowed. It means this production also not in CNF form, and this production are in CNF form. It means 1, 2, 3 production are converted into the CFG to CNF form. Only 2 production, S tend to capital A, capital CA, and D is not in CNF form, and A tends to this production are also not in CNF form. Then for this production rule, we go for the another rule that is known as the restrict the non-terminal from the grammar. If here the 3 or 4 or 5 non-terminal, then 3 or 4 non-terminal are restrict into the 2 non-terminal. Similarly, we apply this rule into this production rule. If any production rule, right side 4, 5, 6 non-terminal, then 4, 5, 6 non-terminal are restrict into the 2 non-terminal. Okay, now we write this production rule. S tends to CA X1 and X1 tends to AD. These 2 non-terminal are restrict into the X1 form, and X1 are 2 non-terminal. It means this production are in CNF form and this production are in CNF form. It means single production rule are converted into the two production rule and these two production rule are in CNF form. My main aim to find the right side two non-terminal and for which we restrict the non-terminal to the right side. This production is also remain in CNF form. There is no work on this production rule. This production already in CNF form. It means no work on this production rule. Only we work on this production rule. Now this product similarly A tends to CB X2 and X2 tends to A and B. It means this production rule are restrict AB are restrict into the X2 and X2 tends to AB. It means here is a two non-terminal follow the rule for the contest Chomsky normal form. And here is also Chomsky normal form. Now, what is the final solution? The final solution for this problem is production rule this, production rule this, production 1, production 2, production rule 3, production rule 4, production rule 5, production rule 6 and production rule 7. If we write these production 7 rule, it means this context free grammar are converted into the Chomsky normal form. Okay, for the better understanding, move to another examples. Write the final solution of this question. We move for the another problem for the better understanding. We take another examples. How the any context free grammar converted into the Chomsky normal form. Okay, what is the rule 1? We similarly remove the null production, unit production and useless production. So we check are in the any production rule are unit production, are any production is known as the null production and are any production is known as the useless production. Now S tends to B, this is known as the unit production. What is the rule for the unit production? In unit production, left side single non-terminal and right side single non-terminal. If such kind of the production occur into the context free grammar, then this production rule is known as the unit production. Single left side single non-terminal, right side single non-terminal. Then such kind of the production rule is known as the unit production. It means here one production or unit production. Then what is the rule? Remove the unit production. We find the and what is the null production? One production A tends to null. In this grammar, null production is also given. So what is the first rule? Remove the unit production and remove the null production. First I remove the unit production. So S tends to A and B. So what are the B are produced? B are produced the A and B. If we remove this production in this production rule, then we replace this value to this value small a and capital A and capital B, because this B produce these two productions. Okay, so now S, this is the new production rule for the star symbol. Now first work is done. Now second work, remove the null production. Now remove the null production. Similarly, we put the A tends to null in all context free grammar. And what different type of the production rule are derived, we write down here. Now A tends to null. So another production are find, that is A tends to here written the no change into the start symbols. Now again A tends to null. Now A tends to A capital B, no change because here no change. And what is the production rule for the B? Here is A and here is a capital A and here is a B. Because if we put A is equal to null in production this, then we find the another production rule A tends to B. So now this is your final context free grammar. In this grammar, we remove the null production, unit production and null and unit production, null production and useless production. Now we move from the another rules. We find the which production rule already in CNF form. Now as tend to A, this production rule allowed into the CNF form. As tend to B, this production rule allowed into the CNF form. It means these two production already in CNF form. This production rule and this production rule not into the CNF form. Again, this production rule not into the CNF form. This production and this production and this production are in CNF form and this production not in CNF form. This production are not in CNF form. This production are not CNF form. This production are not CNF form. So we write separately which production are not CNF form. Then we apply the given two rule, remove the terminal to the right side and restrict the non-terminal to the right side. So as tend to AA and AA, these two production not in CNF form, and A tends to A capital B and capital B, this production is also not in CNF form, and B production to A. These four production not in CNF form. What is the first rule? Remove the terminal right side which is occurs with the terminal and non-terminal. It means we remove this, remove this, remove this and remove this. Now remove S tends to CA and ACA and CA tends to A. Now in this production we remove terminal to the right side and find these two production. Okay, now this production are in CNF form, this production are in CNF form, this production are in CNF form. Similarly, we apply this rule. Now A tends to CABB and CA already written, but this production not in CNF form. For this, we go for the rule 4, restrict the non-terminal to the right side. And for B, A tends to C, this production is also the CNF form. It means only one production not in CNF form, all the production are in CNF form. We apply rule number 4 on this production and find the final answer. What is the final answer? A tends to CA X1 and X1 tends to BB. Now we conclude the final answer. This production rule 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. These 9 production I written production rule 1, production rule 2, production rule 3, production rule 4. These 4 production already in CNF form. Now production rule 4, production rule 5, production rule 6, production rule 7, production rule 8 production rule 9 and this is production rule 10. Production rule are in the CNF.